Welcome to Tuesday's Tips from So Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today let's cover a couple of tips on how to use a pinking blade that is in a rotary cutter. You can get these replacement blades for your rotary cutter, so they'll just replace a regular blade. The directions on how to put them on are on the back. The difference is just that scalloped or that pinked look. And even though the package has the cut on what it's going to look like, I like to use it on some fabric and keep that little piece of fabric right with the blade. That way, at a glance, I know what it's going to look like. Some have deeper little grooves and some are more gentle. They often will fit on many different cutters, but since I do have an OFA cutter, I'm going to use that. So to load your cutter, you're going to have your bottom piece, the blade goes on next, this little plastic washer, then the handle, regardless if it's left or right. Then we have this little washer. The washer has a little curve to it, and you want the curve coming up. So the bottom of that curve is touching. It is a little bit of a square shape, and you're going to be able to put that square shape right on top of that screw so it's still in that bowl shape up. If you look closely at the screw, you have one edge that is a little bit flatter than the other. It's sort of a little bowl shape inside the one edge, and that is the one edge that's going to go down. So the flat part is coming up. You don't want to have that so tight that this blade is not going to be able to move freely. If it's stiff, it's not going to be as easy to use. So if you find it too stiff, you can loosen up the nut on the other side. You want it to have a nice movement. A straight blade is just that. It's very straight. The pinked blade or one of the other ones definitely have this up and down part, and it is a knife all the way around. A straight blade, that metal blade runs along this edge of the ruler. And that's what keeps you straight. There's no bumps in that blade. It's just able to cut smoothly. With a pinking blade, it's different because it's not a flat surface. As you're rolling that blade down, if you're not perfectly straight, one of these little dimples can come over top of the mat. And that's what we need to be aware of. We need to be able to take that blade and have it run smoothly along the ruler. You still want to use the edge of this ruler as a guide, but you're going to have to be careful not to twist that rotary cutter as you're using it. When you're going to be using the pinking blade, I would recommend that you take your blade and put it in the locked open position. That way you're not having to force as much holding that handle open, and you're not also thinking about holding that open. You're going to be able to concentrate on the pressure and that straight cut. You don't want the blade to go flat because you're not going to have pressure over top of that cutting point. You don't want it too far up because you're not getting the proper angle. You want to be able to have pressure right down to that center point of where the blade is going to be. And in this case, I like to take my finger and hold it right there, and I have that straight angle coming down. I'm going to be able to hold that firmly, and I don't have to worry about it opening up on me. Just take that then and roll it all the way down. I'd recommend that you use an old ruler or something that you can do in place of that ruler, just to give it a little practice. You don't even need to cut the fabric to start with. The blade's going to feel a little bit different because it's not straight. You're going to feel the difference. Once you're aware of how that's going to feel and that you cannot twist it one way or the other, a little practice is all you're going to need. Then you're going to be able to put some solid pressure on and do a slow cut all the way down. You then will have that nice cut that you want. If you want to start with a blade, start with one that those bends are more gentle. The gentler the curve, the easier it is to have it run along the edge of the ruler. If you look, you can see quite a difference on the ridges or those bends in that cutter, which means this is going to be easier to run along the edge of a ruler, where a larger ripple is going to be easier for you to roll over and on top of the ruler. So a smaller one is a good one to start off with. And it is called the pinking rotary blade. This is a larger one called the wave blade. Having these additional blades are a lot of fun because you can get yourself so many different looks and open up a whole lot of design opportunities. When you're done, be sure to put that in the closed position, and I do like to lock it closed. And knowing what to look out for makes this a handy blade to use. Thank you for joining me today on Tuesday's Tips. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.